Alright, welcome back. This is M-Dog. Let's bring these fish in and then we'll talk about where we're fishing and what we are fishing with. In all likelihood, you will recognize the spot. Actually, it's not been that long since I did a video on the spot. This is definitely a little different approach than what I featured in my last video. So I thought it would be worth updating. And I'm always game for getting a little carp fishing in. Let's actually put the blinker on this so that I think we already have green out. Let's go blue. I don't know if it's on my end. That sounds good. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're once again here at the pond at Amber. I did a video. I'm going to try to pull this up just so that, didn't mean to do it that way. Hold on one second. I wasn't trying to actually watch a video right now. I was just trying to remember like when I actually recorded this, what I called it and all that. I know it wasn't long ago, and it probably, well, with RF4 videos, I usually have them release the day of. So it's got to be within the last week, though, I believe. Let's see what we're looking at. All right, these are all scheduled. The Norwegian Sea was the most recent RF4 video I did. Before that was the video on the new Carp Hunter Stay Tuned teaser picture that we had come out this week. Sorry, I know this is taking forever and you're probably just wanting to see what I'm fishing with, but before that, oh, interesting. I must be missing it. I must have missed it somewhere. I don't know. I'm just not seeing it off the top of my head, but it's in here somewhere. So anyway, the one of the big differences we're using much bigger hooks. And then we're also using much more expensive PVA. Last time I fished at this spot, we were using similar bait size, but we were also using either no PVA or small PVA on our rods. So this is a much more aggressive approach. Obviously, we're here in the pond, 40, 133. I actually want to give credit to Canadian Way, who made a video about this spot earlier today. So I'm just sort of doing my own test. I just did not think that Canadian Way's results on his video from earlier today seemed too good to be true. So it's from 20 hours ago, so I guess it's from last night. Not that there was anything inauthentic about the video. I don't think that at all. I'm just saying I knew from the start, like, there is no chance that I'm going to have the same results that Canadian Way did. The number of rare carp that he was catching is specifically what I'm talking about. Bite rate, yes, this spot is great. And I will tell you, if you've watched a lot of my carp fishing videos, I always play around with what people are using. So this middle rod, for example, this is what Canadian Way was using. This is pretty much the setup. Am I in the way if I do this? I am in the way. Let's just do this really quick. So this is going to be your setup. This is straight from Canadian Way. And by the way, Canadian Way gave credit to Lee from Discord for this setup. See the big hooks, small baits. But of course, I always like to play with it, with the recipe. So I threw on size 22 for one of the boilie sizes. So instead of using both being smaller boilie sizes, I did a little bit larger on the third rod. And really the third rod hasn't, maybe it's not been quite as good a bite rate, but it's still been really good. I mean, I think you could have 3 setups like this and still do really well in this spot. But I guess the thing to notice is, considering how small a baits we're using, one thing that's notable about this spot is that the average weight has actually been pretty good. Now, it will go down. It's 9:20 in the morning, so we fished overnight, part of the overnight. I mean, I started 22 minutes ago now, and then now through the morning. So these last couple of hours have been sort of what you expect to be ideal fishing conditions for carp. We are sitting here on a pretty normal day, sunny, is what we're expecting. 21 is the expected high. We're pretty far away from that right now, and so far we've had 0 rare carp. That's the big takeaway. Now, you know, in his results, Canadian Way had, I think, 4 different rare carp types at least, and made the comment that somewhere around every 3 fish, you know, he was catching a rare carp. So we're 21 fish in. We should have had 7 rare carp by that math. Even if that's a little bit of an exaggeration, like obviously it's just nowhere near that. So there is some variation, and it may just be that when Canadian Way filmed his video, probably a day or so ago, it was just different than what it is now. Or it just could be the RNG. You know, slightly different conditions. By the way, is this a leather? Because he had an incredible amount of leather carp. That is one of the rare types that we're counting for his results. So there's our first leather. Pretty nice size leather as well. So hopefully we'll still see some rare carp. Maybe we'll see a couple. But we're just not going to get the percentage rare carp that he did. And that's okay. But that's the video that actually got me thinking, like, oh, maybe I'll come back to that spot. Let me see if I just go to my channel and look up. How do I do this? Let's just look up Amber and see the most recent one. Yeah, so it was only 8 days ago. So 8 days ago, we were in this exact same spot. And we were using the krill setup. No, that's not right. 83, 145. That was actually over at that other spot. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's been a little bit longer than I'm thinking. Or maybe I never actually made the video that I thought I did. I just could have sworn. Let me look again. I mean, this spot may have been hot for a couple of weeks. Eight days ago. Yes. Okay, this was it. It was my new to Amber video. So we were using corn. That's right. All we were fishing with was corn here. So that's one reason why the carp are bigger, is we went from fishing with corn in that video to now fishing with double boilies, even though the double boilies are smaller size. So I can show you this video really quick. So the new to amber, leather frame common ghost carp. So we were spotting because I only had PVA on the middle rod. I was really trying to do some experimenting with how well is it without the PVA, and it ended up being really good. Back to live here at amber. Okay, first rare. Common ghost carp. It's a small one, but we'll take it. Next fish I catch on third rod, especially since we're getting into the meat of the day here, I will switch that to the smaller baits as well, because during the middle of the day it's probably going to be a lot slower. All right, so we were in this same spot, 40, 135, same clip, 15 clip, and as I said before, the setup was classic Tutti Frutti, and on the middle rod we had a big PVA bag. Sorry, small PVA, 10 gram. And then on the outside rods, we didn't have it at all. No PVA at all. So anyway, I mean, this spot has been pretty good now for a while, right? I think we did really well on silver here too. Yeah, 425. And that was probably about an hour, if I remember correctly. And, you know, we're doing good again. I think this spot has been good for a while. And based on what I'm seeing from other people's experiences, at least, for some folks, the amount of rare carp, if anything, is just increased in the last few days. So always a good sign. I have not necessarily seen people claiming to be catching trophy rare carp. And here's another one, by the way. Maybe it just needed to be daytime. Maybe nighttime what was messing our numbers up. There's another common ghost carp. Two in a row. And that one is a little bigger. But yeah, seems really good either way. Yeah, this third rod has really slowed down. Oh man, what is going on? Am I gonna have to take back everything I said? I mean, these are so small, but the fact that they're coming in at all. How long do we wait till we just reset this rod with the bigger stuff on? Overnight, the size 20 boilie with the small boilie didn't seem to be slowing it down. We were still catching a lot of fish on that rod, or a decent amount. But now it has it's slowed down to barely a whisper. All right, that's our last PVA in that stack at least, but I went ahead and pre-made another stack. I figured we would get through. Oh, nice trophy buffalo in chat. Very cool. I'd love to see us catch a fish on that third rod, but all right, now we get to change it. So we're changing this from Cocos and Cream 22 down to Cocos and Cream 16 to go with the Honey 14. And we put the new stack of PVA on. I still suspect that if you're really just going for profit, you could just use corn. Maybe cocoa and cream corn, maybe something else, but without the heavy PVA. I mean, we're going to make tons of profit, but it does cut into your profit a little bit when you're using the 20 gram PVA with the double boilies and all that. So. Well, one day, it seems like, based on what has been teased lately, one day in the hopefully not too distant future, we will be sitting here fishing on the peg at Amber with a rod pod, with our rods on a nice big holder. Just trying to pull up the picture really quick just for fun. So there it is. If you can just imagine this set up on our peg here at Amber. Be pretty fun. All right, so we're sitting here at 34 minutes. Let's give it a little bit longer. I mean, we're unfortunately in the very slow part of the day. Let's just go check the cafe just for fun. All right, so plenty of time left, but it looks like that common carp order may be the only thing we hit. And we saw a couple grass carp last time we were here too. Not always common at amber, but sometimes they are. We've also had 2 tench. Hoping this is a tench. I think it's just a really small common. That was a nasty fake one there. Wow. So almost 40 minutes, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 35. So really good bite rate, similar to last time if I remember correctly. But one thing that's a little different, we've got all of them have been markers. I mean, if we're going to catch a non-marker, it would be like this time of day, but it's not looking likely at this point. There's a mirror. Actually, not that many mirror carp this time. Five. 1 linear, 1 leather, 2 grass, 3 common ghost, and then a bunch of common carp. The common carp are healthy. Well, if the marker size for common carp wasn't so generous, that would have been our first one. bite rate's seemingly jumping back up at the moment. That nibble is slow on that middle rod, whatever that is. First non-marker. Should have interrupted that that long nibble. Ooh, leather. So Furlan just had a trophy buffalo and then a rare trophy buffalo. That is pretty sick. 21.398. Wow. These fake nibbles. It's the first time it's gotten me today. This is interesting. It definitely is a great bite rate overall. It does feel like it kind of comes in waves too, though. We'll have moments where you can't get the lines out of the water fast enough. And then these other moments, I mean, it's not night. It's not like overnight yet. It shouldn't, there's nothing about the time that would say, oh, it has to be like super slow right now. But it's interesting how it's going. And that middle line has had some gross like nibbles that have just gone on and on. Looks like another leather. 5 kilo leathers, not hard to come by in this spot right now. hopefully right here at the end of the hour, we're going to get a couple more decent fish. It's that time of day. We could have one or two decent ones come in still. So we're going to end up well, that's 50 fish. Only one non-marker. I'm trying to figure out why we don't have an exact number of PVA. Like, I didn't pull the line out without catching a fish. We didn't not accept a fish. We haven't turned a fish into cafe yet. I don't know, that's strange. 50 plus... Oh, because it counts the ones... It actually might be still correct, because it counts the ones that are on there. All right, we are right at the end of our hour in terms of how long I've been fishing the spot, at least. And yeah, we've done quite well. It's a fascinating spot right now. It's a chance to get some rare carp, some RNG on how many you get, but they're definitely out here. And I've just seen the leather and common ghost carp, but other rares maybe less common, but are possible here as well. Let's get our full hour's worth, I guess. All right, I think that's pretty much it. We might have 1 minute left. Let's see. We'll do this the long way, the complicated way. We'll see our total, then we'll go turn in the cafe order, and then we'll come back and sell the fish. Actually, I don't think I have to do that. What we can do is sort by price. So $3.75, not as good actually as I did the other day on the corn. It's close. So probably a difference of just RNG. Although when you take the cafe order, that's going to put us back towards, you know, over 400 silver. So it's at least getting into ballpark range. But still a very fun spot. And I don't know what the silver range is, but obviously there's a range, and it's hard to say if we came in on the low end of the range or if we did well. I think other people's reports, at least from yesterday and earlier today, are a little higher than what we've done, but not that much. And it's still a really good spot either way. So let's get that total one more time. So that was 41 silver for the cafe order and some change, and 354. So right there at 400 silver. Thankfully, the rare fish kind of helped push it up over the edge, because other than, you know, the early morning fish that we caught, there actually weren't that many fish that were like around the 10 kilo range. We had some of those first thing in the morning and overnight, but once we got to daytime, it became a 3 to 5 kilo farm basically. It's just the bite rate that's so good. There's another grass carp. Okay, so I guess the other thing, last thing I'll say about this spot is that it's a short clip. It's a place where you're not going to get spooled in all likelihood. It's safe for beginners that's just gotten to amber. So just, you know, remember that as well if you're looking for spots. All right. As always, thanks for watching Tight Lines, and I will see you next time.